Hello and welcome back to Surly Thames. Now in this one I'm covering a movie by the name of Frankenstein Unbound, which came out in 1990. It's based on a book by Brian Aldiss of the same name. It was directed by Roger Corman, and although it seemed like it almost had a made-for-television feel, strangely it had an R rating. But according to reviews, it states that the European cuts actually were a little bit more gory. To me, the American cut just didn't really live up to an R rating. Now, it had an $11.5 million budget, but it only brought in just under $335,000. So not a commercial success. Now, Frankenstein Unbound actually takes the science fiction aspect of Mary Shelley's original and takes it to the next level. And one of the stars is John Hurt as Dr. John Buchanan. He's a particle physicist. He starred in Watership Down as Hazel in 1978, The Elephant Man as the main character in 1980. He was Winston Smith in the movie 1984, also released in 1984. He was also in Doctor Who as the War Doctor in 2013. He was also in the Harry Potter series. He was in a lot of movies. Also Raul Julia as Victor Frankenstein. I first saw him in Kiss of the Spider Woman in 1985, opposite William Hurt, no relation. The Addams Family and Addams Family Values. He actually brought Gomez Addams to life for a whole new generation. Also starring Bridget Fonda as Mary Shelley, who I first saw in Singles in 1992. Also Point of No Return in 93, which was a remake of La Femme Nikita. Jackie Brown and Lake Placid, which is one of my favorite B movies from that era. Also, as Frankenstein's monster is Nick Brimble from Lust of the Vampire in 1971, which is a Hammer film. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves from 1991. He played Little John. He was in Doctor Who, Time War, and he played the voice of Ursula in the Netflix version of Watership Down more recently. Movie also had Jason Patric in it from The Lost Boys as Lord Byron, and Michael Hutchins from NXS as Percy Shelley. Now, the movie it's about a particle physicist named Dr. Joe Buchanan, who builds a machine that he claimed would end an ongoing conflict, but had an unfortunate side effect that opened a doorway through time. And when Dr. Buchanan was transported to an 1817 Swiss village, where he meets Victor Frankenstein and Mary Shelley, and where fiction meets reality as mysterious monster wreaks havoc upon the villagers and elite that lived in the region. Now, to me, this was a little bit of a below-average film. The writing, I gave a 0.5. I thought the story was a little weak. Now, I haven't read the book by Brian Aldiss. I had it at one period of time, but I evidently just never got to it. Somehow it mysteriously disappeared from my collection. Now, I gave it a rating of 0.5 because I thought it was okay. It wasn't above par. The acting, I gave a 1. I thought they were all pretty good. They did rather well, to be honest. And then the directing was good. I mean, I really can't say much about Roger Corman being a bad director, although he's become famous for directing B movies. Now, the production, I gave a 0.5. I had said something earlier about it looked very much like a made-for-TV movie. There were aspects of the movie that just really didn't kind of hit for me, so I gave it a 0.5. Now, in my opinion, I liked the movie. I thought it was a good film. It's worth a watch to anybody who's a Frankenstein fan, although it very much sits outside of your average Frankenstein film because, of course, Mary Shelley's in this. Unlike, there's been a few movies where she was in it, but only outside of the story itself, not really made part of the story. It was an interesting, fresh take on the mythos. I kind of enjoyed the film. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was an enjoyable film. So, thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.